Hi, everybody. Welcome to our bi-monthly Team Fearlessly Authentic Zoom. It is November 20th at 6:40 p.m. in case anyone wants to time log this. Thanks, everybody who could get on. And if you're watching this later, awesome. When I post this tomorrow, everybody who's on and then everybody who watches it, please leave your biggest takeaway at the bottom because that's how we're entering people into the Coach Prize of the Month, which I was going to pull out and show you. And here it is. I got it. It's this awesome shaker cup, and it's got 3 samples in there, including a cafe latte. You can use this to give away to your challengers if you win it, or you can keep it for yourself. It's all up to you. But to get entered into the drawing, you have to have watched this Zoom, leave a comment under the recording of your biggest takeaway, whether you watch it live or recorded, doesn't matter. And then for every Success Club point you get in November, you'll get your name entered again. So you have endless amounts of opportunities to win this prize. But all you have to do to be entered once is just be present for this Zoom or watch it later and comment below. So a couple other announcements. If you missed Team Lead and Love Zoom last week, watch it. It's so much goodness. It was really just about staying consistent through the holidays. The holidays are the busiest and hardest time for our business because a lot of people are thinking, we'll just start in the new year. And I think the best way to approach that is in your posts, your call to action posts, is to really address that there's still time this year. And that often a lot of those people, just like I did forever, had the same goals that they want in 2016 now. It's important for people to know that they can still eat pie and gravy. I think they think diet, and that means they can't eat anything. And really just use the power of attraction. Like, I loved Sheena's post last week. She's like, yep, I did it, and had a picture of her McDonald's. Like, I thought that was so awesome because that's real life. We still eat those things, and I don't think people realize that. It's just the deciding not to eat them every day, all day. And that's still hard for us sometimes. Am I right? So watch Team Lead and Love Zoom from last week if you haven't yet. Just because it's good information while you're cleaning, while you're cooking, while you're sitting around bored, because I know we all have just a whole bunch of free time in our life. And then I wanted to announce current Success Club points so far for the month. We have Laura, Amy, and Katie all at Success Club 2. And I believe Katie and Laura both signed a new coach with that. Amy, was yours a new coach? I'm sorry. Either way. Yay, good job, ladies. And then I'm at Success Club 6. The prizes this month are based on our team, not Team Cup, Team Spirit, which is basically the same thing. And so every time you hit a certain level of Success Club, you get a new prize. So if you're at Success Club 5 or above, you get the base level prize, and then Success Club 10. And it's all core to force stuff, I noticed. So that's exciting. I wanted to congratulate Stephanie on winning $100 from Mr. Carl. I think like the coolest part about that story is that she didn't even know she was winning it. Like, I love to talk about this with people. Whenever somebody says anything, I'm like, and she didn't even know, because she was literally just showing up like she does all the time. She's just showing up and using her hashtags, and she got rewarded with a prize, $100 in cash, which is so awesome. So good job, Steph. That was really exciting. You never know what you're going to win just by showing up day after day, right? I think those are my only big announcements. Hold on, let me just make sure, because I took a bunch of notes while we were talking. Okay. So on this month's Zoom, or this week's Zoom, I just wanted to briefly talk about the importance of staying together, because just like it's rough for our challengers or people who we want to be in our challenge groups, I am not blind to the fact that it's also rough for us. It's easy to think that this isn't working for you because it's not going very fast right now. But Shelly has reminded us a million times, I know she just said this, so I want to be sure that I'm quoting her directly. What you're doing now will affect you 3 months from now. So as long as you consistently doing whatever you're doing right now for the next 3 months, it will show up in your business. So whatever you were doing 3 months ago is what's happening now. And it's also important to remember this is a slow time a month. So we shouldn't use that as an excuse to not invite and reach out and talk to people. But it's important to know that if you're getting a lot of no's right now, you aren't alone, that a lot of us are really having to stretch and reach for those yeses. So just keep your head in the game and remember that this is a busy, crazy, stressful time of month for a lot of people. And we have an opportunity to be that light for a lot of people. But more importantly, we have an opportunity to be that light for each other. And that's really what I wanted to focus on. So this month, I really want to challenge everybody to get back to your roots. I've had this conversation with a couple of you one-on-one, but really get back to your roots. Like, why are you here? You didn't start here to be a coach. You started here to be a challenger and to really focus on your own journey. So I'm encouraging you all to go back to that space where you're focusing on your own journey. Make sure that you're picking and doing a program, that you're drinking and reporting your shakes and your workouts on the app. Because I don't just look at my challengers, I look at what you guys are doing too still. Stick to your exercise. It's going to help a ton with the holiday stress. Listen, you guys, I am not shy about the fact that I have huge, high, incredible amounts of family drama, especially around the holidays. And I don't drink. I'm sober. And so a lot of people make jokes like, oh, just have a glass of wine, that don't really know my story. And if only, if only that would happen, it would not be pretty. It would be much worse. But so really lean into your exercise program. Make sure you're drinking your shakes. Enjoy the holiday food, but take care of yourself. And then more importantly, I want you to lean into your team and support. Lean into all of us as your coaches who support each other through regular stressful stuff and high intense stressful stuff, such as the holidays. Super important. The further away that you push yourself, the less likely you are to come back, and the more likely you are to continue to make excuses and reasons for not coming back. So if you decide to shut down shop and not be a coach anymore, I want you to know that's cool. Like, I will support that. I will, however, ask you to stay in the game as a challenger, because you didn't start this program to be a Beachbody coach. You started this program to take care of yourself. And so as your coach, and as somebody who committed myself to you, our role might have changed a little bit when you decided to work your business and become a coach. But I will consistently hold you accountable to the goals that you set. So if you disappear and run away, I can't support you anymore. And so just know that I'm not going to leave your side if you decided not to coach anymore. I'm still going to be here. But I want you to get back to your roots and always stay in your roots, even when you need to pull back a little bit. We all go through ebbs and flows of our business. And so it's super important that you just be aware that leaving coaching doesn't mean you abandon your fitness routine, because I've never seen that go well. Never. In all my 18 months of doing this, I've never seen it go well. So stay focused on you. And if you need help, like developing a personalized plan, that's what I'm here for. That's what we did in the beginning. That's what we did when you became a coach. That's what we've done as we've moved forward together. And that's what I'll do. I'm going to always meet you where you're at. You just have to reach out and talk to me and tell me what you're thinking and feeling so that we can come together and make a new plan. Because I am not here to push anybody to do anything that they do not want to do. And I know you all feel the same way. I know everybody here is super supportive of everybody. I want to show you a really quick thing, because I've really started to dig this, showing Coach Caleb. So I'm going to show you a quick video. Maybe. There we go. Hold on, everyone, be patient. Not everything can go super smooth. So hold on 1 second while I move and shuffle everything. I always want to make inappropriate jokes here, but I won't. Like about what's up on my screen, but nothing exciting is on my screen. Just stuff nobody wants to see. Okay, here we go. I am going to make this big and start this.
What's up, everybody? It's Coach Caleb from EpicEveryRep.com. How do you deal with negativity? Specifically, how do you deal with negative people? The depressing coworker, the gossipers, Debbie Downers, negative Nancy's, turnbucklers, soul suckers, naysayers, sex defeatists, party poopers, curmudgeons. There's so many of them. What do you do? Well, there's absolutely no doubt about it. If you want to be a successful Beachbody coach or work your way through a big financial or physical transformation, you're going to notice that a lot of people start to come out of the woodwork to give you their very negative opinions. I like to call these kinds of people negators. Negators. Do you have any of those types of people in your life? They like to say things like,
"That's a waste of time. What are you doing? Those opportunities are only for lucky people. Oh, I tried that once. It didn't work. Maybe you should focus on getting a real person job. Why do you have to be so different? You know, someday you're going to really regret this."
And you know the thing about negators? They're everywhere. Why? Because they're average. They've settled for what's standard. You could maybe even call them unsuccessful, and their opinions that they so freely give out are poisonous. It's like they almost seem to take delight in sabotaging the progress of other people. Some of them actually do it out of jealousy. They're not moving ahead themselves, so they want to watch other people stumble with them. So how do you fight off that kind of negativity? How do you slay the terrible negator? I have two different battle tactics. Numero uno, take all of that negative advice, pack it up into a little ball. Oh, it's so cute. Hold it close to your heart and transform it into a positive influence that drives you to prove yourself, to become successful, to show all those negators that you can thrive, that you can be better than average, that you can do what very few people have actually done. Take the negative and turn it into a positive. And number two, separate yourself from the negators. Instead, surround yourself with people that have big dreams and massive goals and strong work ethics. Find mentors and leaders and successful people and put them into your circle of influence. You'll know you found the right people if you tell them your big aspirations and they immediately respond with support and encouragement, because unlike negators, those people understand this whole concept of success. Jim Rohn, one of my greatest mentors, said that we are the average of the 5 people we're most influenced by. Surround yourself with great people that you look up to, and someday you'll be a great person, and people will be looking up to you. To everybody that's out there watching, just because the world around us seems to thrive on the negative doesn't mean we can't on the positive. If you've made a decision to live above all the negative crap and you're purposefully taking the path less traveled, I want you on my team. I'm searching hard for the...
Okay, you guys can't be on this team. Sorry. You're all stuck with me. Hold on. I'm coming back. I just have to figure out how to do it. Stop share. There we go. I did it. Yay! Okay, so you guys can't be on Coach Caleb's team, but you can be on my team. And we're still going to have a lot of fun. So I really liked that message because I think that it's so applicable with all the political stuff that happened and how everyone's feeling about it. And like the holidays are coming and we all have to spend time with family that we might not be super excited. And I know that that's not the case for everyone. Some people really enjoy their get-togethers with their families. But generally speaking, I hear the anxiety. So for example, my family hasn't been super supportive of me being a Beachbody coach, which is interesting because in the last 6 months, 3 of them have now bought Shakeology from me. So I think that what we have to focus on is personal development, leaning into each other. And when we lean into each other, I think it's really important to remember that we don't want to bring the yuck. If you feel like you're constantly in a yucky state and you're bringing that to everybody, like we can even talk about that because I have a plan for that. I used to be that. That is how I lived my life for a really, really long time. And it didn't feel good. And so I understand what that's like. My kids are going to walk in now and be loud. Don't be loud. I'm on the phone. Sort of. Okay. So a couple of tips, things to think about when you're surrounding yourself with your people. And while I understand that we're all each other's people, we're not only each other's people. We all have other people in our lives who are also equally as supportive and wonderful. Other people that we're closer to than we are to each other. And so this can kind of apply to everybody. But the importance of leaning into your support system and the positive people in your life. So I read this article a while ago and was really excited to share it. I just took like a couple points from it, but it says to write down the qualities of the people you spend time with. This kind of goes along with what Coach Caleb was saying about the 5 people you spend the most time with often reflect who you are. So really think about that. Write down their qualities. Would you call them positive people? Like how, when you're interacting with them, how do they make you feel? When you leave a conversation with them, how do you feel? And this is something for you, obviously. You're not going to send this to them in a greeting card. Like, you make me feel like garbage. That's not the point of this. Do they support you? Do they make you feel attractive? And that doesn't obviously mean physically or looks-wise always, but do they make you feel important to them? How do you feel happy and energized after spending time with them? I think that that's so important. And really like assess. And I really had to do that. And I didn't cut all of those people out of my life. Like, I'm not a person who puts people on the chopping block and is like, I'm done with you. I just recognized that when I asked myself those questions a few months ago, I really recognized a pattern in who I was giving my time to. Not necessarily all the people I was spending time with, but who I was giving my time and energy to, and how I was feeling when I left that conversation. And then what I did is I redirected my energy into the people who are making me feel good and, you know, who want to contribute. And that doesn't mean that they always have a good day or that they have to have even a good month. But there's a difference in the way you communicate with people and the way that they respond. Like, somebody who just wants to live under a dark cloud, that's okay, because that's the space that they're in, and we can support and love those people. But sometimes we have to do it from an arm's distance to protect ourselves. And that's not selfish, that's just reality. So some things to counter that with. Happiness is contagious. You know, what kind of energy are you putting off? I know, like, Steph and I see a lot of each other in these situations, and we're both like really happy and bubbly and blah, blah, blah. And when I get to school, a lot of times I feel like anxious and worried and like stressed about the next test and stressed about this. And so I know she sees a different side of me in that setting, because I don't have the confidence that I have, you know, when we're doing this kind of stuff. Her happiness is contagious. It always makes me feel good when she greets me when I walk into school. So think about that. We don't have to counteract negativity with negativity. We can be open to responding with joy and positivity and then walking away from the situation. It doesn't mean we give them all of our energy, but we can certainly respond with a smile. Laughter is a great way to bond with others. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love to smile and laugh with all of you guys, and I hope that you feel the same way about me. And less complaining is good for everyone. And I don't want this to seem like you can't complain or have a bad day or bad week or bad month, but I just want you to be aware, like, you know, even sort of reflecting on yourself with those questions at the beginning, and I'll post them under the recording later, so you can do a sort of a self-evaluation of the people you spend most of your time with. And look for patterns in it. Really look for the patterns in that, because you'll be kind of surprised at the patterns that exist. And we can talk more about that one-on-one later if you come up with anything. Spending time with positive people helps us learn coping strategies. We cannot cope or learn new strategies for coping if we isolate ourselves and run away from everything and hide from everything. So the more involved we are, whether it's in coaching, whether it's just being a challenger in the group, whether it's interacting with our friends, the more positive we are, the more involved we are with our people, the more that we have good coping strategies. And that's really important. If you isolate yourself, you're not only not dealing with whatever it is that's stressing you out, but you're not learning to cope, and you're not using your skills to cope. It's okay to have issues and to work through them with your people, but when you isolate and pull away from everybody, you're not able to do that effectively. And then kind of going back to what Coach Caleb was saying, we become like those who we keep closest. So the 5 people closest to us in our life, more than likely we act different with our spouse than we do with our friends, or different with our people that we work with than we do with our friends. You know, it's not that we change who we are, but our defense mechanisms change, and how we respond to things often changes. It's not often that people are like congruent in their life. Like if my husband upsets me, I'm going to react a lot differently than if my boss upsets me, because I know my husband's not going to leave me, I hope. And I'm not quite sure if I'll get fired. So I have to like behave differently at work than I would at home if something, you know, stressful comes up. So just be aware that it's okay if you change a little bit in different circumstances. That doesn't mean that you're a different person. You know, that's we study way too many personality disorders where bad things are happening if you're doing that. But that's just a part of life. We all actually do that. And then also, I think the most important is hearing me too. Like the more that we talk about stuff, and I have said this so many times and I'll say it so many more, the more we talk about things, even without details, even if Gino came to me and said, I am struggling with a friend, and she didn't want to share details, and she's like, I don't know how to handle it. For me, in my experience, maybe she just needed to vent. Maybe she just needed a reminder of whatever. But me being able to say, oh my gosh, I've been in that position, I'm sorry, that sucks, and then kind of go from there and figure out, you know, what she needs to move forward through that relationship. I think that that's really important. And that doesn't mean that we have to share every single detail. Sometimes it's, you thought someone was going to buy a challenge pack and they didn't. Yeah, me too. That happens all the time. That happens all the time. And if you don't talk about it, you don't know that. And so when it's happening to you as a new coach or an inexperienced coach, you think it's you, and you automatically internalize that, and you walk away feeling like you're not going to hit a goal. Or so being able to openly share about those experiences is really important. Being able to say, like, I had a goal of losing 25 pounds by December 15th and I didn't make it. I'm totally bummed. And having all of your coach friends surround you and say, but look at all these other things you did do. And look at how much your life has changed in this time frame. And it's okay, because we all have goals we didn't make. We don't change the goal, we just change the date, right? I hope that somebody writes that on my gravestone, because Amy, take notes. Put that on my gravestone. Okay, so I want to go back to these questions one more time before we stop recording. The questions to ask yourself, get rid of that. The questions to ask yourself when thinking, you know, kind of have a quiet space and quiet time, thinking about who's in your life and who you spend the most time with. Write down the qualities of the people. So just make a little list. You don't have to write their names in case you're worried your paper will get bound. Would you call them positive people? How do you feel when you leave after interacting with them, and how do they affect you? Do they make you feel like you have what it takes to reach your goals? Do they support you? Do they make you feel attractive? Do you feel happy and energized after spending time with them? Again, I'll post those later. But mostly I just wanted to come together tonight to really just talk about like leaning into each other, setting that example through your social media, setting that example in the challenge group, setting that example for our team, setting that example for yourself, consistently leaning into each other when you're struggling with anything. And there will be times where we don't have the answers, and we might have to say, hey, put that in the big team and let me know what you find out. Or I don't really know what to do for you, but I'll sit here with you while you're going through this. There's just so many options. And if you pull away and hide and seclude and isolate yourself, you're just going to have a much different experience than you could if you leaned into each other and leaned into us. So on that happy note, have a good night. Thanks for joining me, and leave your biggest takeaway down below. And I'm going to stop recording. Yay!